You know, when I was young, I was a very practical boy, working in archaeology, making discoveries, and I really made the most important discovery in that time, the Valley of the Golden Mummies, a big valley that I found 250 mummies covered with gold. And the second important discovery was the tombs of the pyramid builders that tell the people all over the world that the builder of the pyramids were Egyptians and the builder of the pyramids were not slaves. Then actually, I could see in myself that I'm dry. I don't really have a soft heart to think about things or a big vision. But when I began to see spiritual people, and when Fadl Gad, my friend, began to come to Egypt and bring spiritual people from all over the world, and especially Jean Roger groups, those, I think over 10 years, hundreds of members of Jean Rogers came to Egypt. And I began to come and lecture for them and tell them facts. But I could see that many of them flying up, thinking of spiritual things that I don't understand. Then I never really understood this kind of meditation and what kind of things you have to do to prepare yourself to something. But meeting those people a lot of time and talking to them, and some of them became good friends of mine, this really introduced me for the first time to become an archaeologist with the spices. And the spices was the spiritual. And I never really said this to people, that I used many times to open the Great Pyramid alone and go and sit down in front of the Grand Gallery and close my eyes and think. Have something, it's not only meditation, but it's really isolating myself from the world. Think of vision. Then I really think that having to think about spiritual and looking at meditation, it opened my eyes in many things that I never thought it could happen to me. And this is why I began more vision in archaeology, such as looking at the secret doors inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu, to reveal what's behind them, using technology in archaeology, discovering the mummy of Queen Hatshepsut, also the family of Tutankhamun, make major important things. And I think all of this happened because of a spiritual, of seeing a vision in archaeology through this kind of meditation that makes you to be alone, think of the vision, think of what you will find and discover. And when I came once to Los Angeles, my friend Fadl Gad took me to Jean Rogers Foundation, and I met him. And I found he's a very simple man, very modest. I could not believe all the followers, that they follow him and they believe in him. To find a man on earth who can have those type of numbers of people who believe in him, that is, in my opinion, is a man with a vision, a man that God gave him this gift to make people to talk about him and to follow him and to be the follower of Jean Roger. And that is really something that I respected in this man when I met him. You know, that was a good point that I could see from Jean Roger's foundation, that they helped Egypt in that time. They helped Egypt in bringing tourism and tours to the country. That helped the economy, that made the Americans to come. I remember there was many people came only not once, but twice and 3 times, because Egypt began to be the home of all of them. Egypt began to be their second home. They're Americans, but in my opinion, I could see in the eyes of many of them that Egypt is not only the second home, but was the first home. They lived in this home for a long time. And because of Jean Roger, they came to Egypt, and they believed in Egypt, and they were really good by coming and visiting and spending money to improve our economy. You know, I hope to tell you one thing, and that was the ancient Egyptian used to say to good people like you. Anch Wujah Sinib means life, prosperity, and health to you, Mr. Rogers.